Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for August 30th, 2021. My name is Suzanne Wagner. I'm a professional psychic. I do a lot of blogs. I do blogs daily on astrology and numerology. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this blog today. If you add all the numbers together, you get the number 16, and if you add the 1 and the 6 together, you get the number 7. The number 7 reminds us that long-term outcomes have required extensive planning and a multitude of adjustments along the way. Being able to see past this moment in time and into what may be needed in the future and then acting in accordance with those impulses and intuitions are what this number represents. Many things in life can throw us by their suddenness. When that happens, it depends on what we do next. And the best things need to be thought through. That is why the skills necessary to inspire positive change are inspired by those that want to make a difference and are willing to construct things with the intention that they will stand the test of time. Today, look at your personal reality and notice where you are growing and what you are heading towards by certain choices and actions. If those are what your soul craves, then go for it. But if you dream of something bigger and something that has a greater impact globally, then figure out those steps that will allow you to step onto a new path. The astrology today. The moon wanders around in Gemini seeking things that are interesting and that stimulate the mind. Keep busy seems to be the ticket. Stay positive and recognize that we still love even when we may want to do the opposite. Mercury will go into Libra today and it will stay there until November 5th. It will go retrograde in that same sign, so it seems a longer transit than normal. This makes us try a more diplomatic and supportive approach. Those we love matter, and it is a moment when we find the words to help and heal. We are here to mend the rift in duality, not to keep splitting that rift further apart. Notice the places where we feel unsure. You are significant in this world and do make a difference. Choose love. It is always the most reasonable path. My quote for today: peace is the path of love. That is why when we choose love, it is always the most reasonable path. And my blog for today. Yesterday in the morning, my husband and I spent our time splitting wood for the winter, a big project, and we have been working towards, as you've been hearing in my blogs, on and off for a month or so. Because of the fire hazard, we have been creating fire breaks by taking down dead trees, manzanitas, as they have a very volatile oil and like to burn like a torch, and clearing brush. This has been a process each year, and on 30 acres, it never seems to end. This year in the spring, we had approximately 13 burn piles when the ground was wet and the fire danger was low. All the wood that could be used for fireplaces we stacked over by our splitter and have been sawing rounds and then splitting them ever since. While we are not done, we are at least in the home stretch. We just need maybe 2 more rows of wood for the house and we should be good. It takes a lot of effort to put it all together. Living in the forest and on the land that is pristine, wild, and beautiful requires a great deal of patience, planning, and effort. It's all worth it, but it requires focus and willingness, all in alignment with the number 7 for today. In such moments, I can hear my father in my head. He died over a decade ago, but I know that he would have loved to live in such a place, perhaps minus the wood splitting and stacking. As I was splitting wood, I heard him in my head acknowledge that never in my life have I ever been lazy. And that is the truth. Sometimes we think happiness is being able to be lazy and do nothing. That is what we think retirement is supposed to be. But now Social Security starts later and retirement does not look the way it did for my grandparents nor my parents. We are living longer and hopefully are healthier than previous generations. Therefore, we look at life differently because stopping at 58 to 62 years of age is just not possible in this day. Life has shifted a lot at this time in history. Just retiring and going off traveling is also not in the cards right now because of COVID. And we too have changed. Life seems to require more effort and a different type of effort than we have ever experienced. Since coming to California, my life and the tempo of my life is radically different. Most things that take up my day, besides my normal work, are things brand new to me and my experience. It is like I have to put on a learner's hat every time and every day to stay open and willing to grow in new directions. My husband operates like this constantly. He can fix or figure anything out. That is one of the many fabulous masculine gifts he possesses. But I can help in any way that I can help. But more often than not, I am lost in the process, but just doing the steps necessary in each moment. I had a teacher of mine say many years ago that the key to growth is willingness. Learning comes when you don't know and don't have the answers, but are willing to learn, willing to try, willing to experiment, and willing to grow in very new ways. This place teaches me just that. I am more and more willing. I am less rigid. Because of that, I am less afraid, more accepting of the moment, and less defensive. And that is a good thing.